We are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to our first late stream. Depending on where you are, if you're on the West Coast like me, it might not be super late, but compared to our normal streaming times that has been at 12 my time, it is a lot later. So I ended up taking a nap and woke up about an hour ago to get everything set up. Aaron was awesome enough to get me a energy drink, so hopefully as the next hour goes on here, I'll be getting a little bit more alert. But if you are in the US or somewhere that celebrates Thanksgiving, happy Turkey's Eve to you all. Today is going to be pretty laid back, I think, pretty fun. It's going to be the last stream on this guy, the LDO Voron 0.1 that we've been building for probably the last, I would say, good month now. We built just about the entire thing on stream with the exception of the skirts, the panels, and no, we did the panels on stream. The skirts, the top hat, and I think just about everything else we actually did live on stream. So it's been a pretty smooth build. We ran into a couple of minor issues. I had to disassemble the mini afterburner at one point. What other issues did we run into? I think that was the primary one. Hey, what time is it in Denmark right now, 75? I didn't think that anybody from Europe would be tuning in, because I know normally when we have the noon stream, most people in Europe are, okay, 1 a.m. So you are a you are a vampire. I thought it was probably very late or very early. Well, I'm glad you caught it, at least the beginning of it. So yeah, before we get going, I want to, as always, give a huge thank you to Fabreeko. They are the ones that sponsored this LDO kit and made this entire thing possible. They are a US-based company. They are super awesome. So if you are interested in building a Voron 0.1 and you're interested in the LDO kit specifically, definitely check them out. Links will be in the description. And yeah, so let's briefly talk about what I did from the time the last stream ended till today's stream. So let me scoot this back so we can see the skirts a little bit. So if you guys remember, oh, there's a lot more people showing up. DC is here. Hello, DC. We've got, we'll call you KY. It's midnight. Jeez, it is late. G Funny's here. I know he's on the same time zone as me, so it's not too late. Man, you guys are crazy. I didn't think we were gonna have anybody from Europe with the late stream. So I guess since you guys are, again, you guys kind of always get the sneak peeks. We'll talk about this in a second here, but basically what happened is I ended up starting a job, or a new job. I've been, for the last 3 months, full-time doing YouTube, and I've loved it, but I had an opportunity come in front of me, and I accepted. So it's not quite full-time, it's fully remote, but I'm actually working and helping out with the tech support or tech side of things for Lightburn, which is an awesome laser software company. So I'm gonna be helping out in their some emails, some forum stuff, and I will also be doing probably some other kind of maybe creative training type stuff with them. So I'm really excited. I started on Friday, and so that's why this stream is later. My hours are kind of ish 8 my time till 2 in the afternoon, which is why I decided to do this at 4. But based off, there's some flexibility, and so based off that, we still might be able to do the stream earlier than this. I just pushed it way back because with it being kind of my first week, I wanted to make sure I was going to be available for all of the times that they needed me. So I'm really excited. You guys can't see it, but there's actually a 5.5 watt diode laser over here that I got in to do some testing with. And so I have a very cool idea. So because I need to learn all the laser things, I've got a little bit of experience with a CO2 laser that I had at my last place, but I'm gonna be doing a lot of engraving and cutting stuff, which I think will kind of mesh pretty well with 3D printing, like customizing acrylic panels. I really wanna do on the other Voron up here, like the Modbot logo on the side panels. So that'll be really cool, but there is a very awesome way that you can engrave these white ceramic tiles. And so after the stream's done, I'm gonna go pick up a bunch of white tiles and play around with painting them white and then burning different images in them. So we might actually take a break next week since we'll be done with this, and we might just burn stuff on stream, like laser engrave. So that could be kind of a fun, laid back, let's play around with this type stream. So I'm super excited. So jumping back into Voron stuff, last stream we discovered that I had printed out the incorrect skirts. Basically, I printed out like a unibody skirt, but it was a mod for Voron 0. While the 0.1, they raised the skirts because the motors are slightly longer. So I originally was reprinting them in carbon fiber, or trying to, and I discovered I just didn't have enough filament. So I opted to go with gray ABS. All of these were printed on this Voron right here. I also installed the top hat, obviously. I did have a little issue where this hinge was bumping into my top hat, and I think the reasoning for that was there might have been a hair of warping on the top hat, and so I ended up taking these little corner pieces into Fusion 360, and I just shrunk them down, I think like 5 millimeters. So there's a slight gap here, but that's kind of how I wanted it and how the other Voron is as well. So I did do that. I also did upgrade, so the nozzle that comes with the Dragonfly is this little, I believe it's a plated brass nozzle. I swapped it out for one of those Diamondback nozzles we got on stream. So there is a diamond tipped nozzle inside of here, and I have done a little bit of carbon fiber printing on it, and so far it's been great. I also calibrated the E-steps since last stream, so I've been pretty busy. The meat of today is going to be installing this guy, which is the accelerometer, so that way we can run input shaper. I've only done it once, so I might have a hair of familiarity, but a lot of it is going to be following along with the guide. I might need your guys' help, so we will be doing that, and maybe running pressure advance. I originally said last stream that I would do it before the stream, but discovered afterwards that if you do the pressure advance before input shaper, you're supposed to do it after again, so it kind of seemed pointless. And also, the pressure advance on this small direct drive extruder only required me the first time to print out a tiny bit of the cube. That's the calibration cube for that, so it might not take that long to run. So that is what's on the agenda for tonight. So how is everybody else doing? How has your week been going, everybody? Let's see. I can't believe it's so strange. Like, I think because we were doing the streams Wednesday and Friday for a little bit there, the once a week stream feels like a huge gap. And so by the time the next week rolls around, I'm like, I have so much to show or so much to talk about. Kevin says, going good, nice. I also did last week, I talked about that I was going to be picking up a Prusa Mini off of somebody locally, which did end up happening. It's quite a story, actually. Let me grab this. Maybe. Okay. So I did get that in, which, let's see, let me go big on the face cam. So I did get the Prusa Mini, and it was like new with the exception of this guy was doing some home improvement, and I don't know how well you'll be able to pick it up, but there's a lot of like white overspray on the back side of the machine, which kind of sucks. I actually didn't notice it until I got home, and it was about, because of traffic, a 2.5-hour drive, so there was no way I was going back to complain about that. And it's been printing pretty well. I did run into issues initially with adhesion, which was driving me crazy because it's like, you know, a brand new powder coated bed. But once someone made the recommendation of soaking, or not soaking, but cleaning it with water and dish soap, and I did that, and it's been sticking really, really well since. So I think that whatever that overspray was might have made its way onto that powder coated bed, and I just couldn't see it because of kind of the sheen of it. And so that's been going great. And I did print out the spool holder, and then I'm also printing out that little pie case because I'm going to be hooking it up to Octoprint. But so far, I've really been liking the Prusa Mini. Average Jet is here. What's up, CNC Maker? Yeah, final build day. I mean, not even much of a build day. More so just a like final tweaking of calibration day. Right now I've got the hot end at 245. Let me cool that down so we can just kind of get this going. Yeah, final calibration day. And then it's been printing, like even without input shaper or pressure advance, it's been printing pretty good. Like the skirts were all done on that, as well as a couple other pieces. So it's definitely like done. But yeah, just a little bit of calibration today. Need the part cooling fan duct mod. You will like the improvement. On the Mini, I was trying, so I'm probably gonna be getting a couple additional minis for like these are machines I don't really mod, and just have them for printing and sort of like, well, I guess like a mini farm. Someone said that the 3 printers I used to run wasn't a farm, but it was a garden. So something like that. I've got some kind of shelves over here that I'm gonna put them on with Octoprint, and then all running Octo Farm on top of Octoprint. But I will take a look at the part cooling fan duct that you're mentioning. I did also add a, if you guys follow me on Twitter, you would have seen that I added a silicone sock to it. I don't like, especially with how much PET I'm kind of gonna be doing on there, the PET to me just sticks so much to the aluminum heater block, and so I like having that kind of shield between those two. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so if anyone didn't see today on Prusa Live, which I don't normally watch, but I did have it on today, they announced that Black Friday deals are going to be going live between Thanksgiving night to Black Friday morning. I don't know what time because of the zone difference, but they didn't give all the details, but it sounds like they're gonna be doing their standard like free shipping and maybe like some other deals. So that will be on. And I'm curious, so I wasn't planning on it, but I did end up placing a pre-order for the Prusa XL. Right now I have it down for just the 2-headed system because I think that, one, I'm very interested in what it's all about, and I, again, just got my first Prusa, which is a Mini, so clearly I don't have a lot of experience with Prusas. So, XL half off, oh God, I wish, dude. Break the internet. So I have it down for the 2-tool. Depending on finances and how much I save between now and then, I'm not sure what exactly will happen or if I'll opt for more, but I'm curious to anyone that saw the launch or saw the video and Joel's video, like, what are your guys' thoughts on it? G Funny says, that's all I clean my plates with now. Yeah, normally I feel like just hitting the plates with a little bit of this. I don't know, where's my camera? There we go. Just some, well, this is 70% IPA, it's not even strong. Usually does the trick, you know, every couple of prints. But yeah, I do think that if you're gonna deep clean the powder coated PEI, that I can certainly vouch for the water with dish soap method, because it made a huge difference. DC says, I want it, but I don't need it. I think that's honestly, unless you have a very specific application, it's overkill for a lot of things, unless you really just need to like mix and match certain materials using the tool changing that you just can't do. Let's see. CNC says, cool, I've been working on mounting my Big Tree Tech TFT 70. Holy shit, that is a big screen. I've got the 50, and that's it's a pretty big screen. In my Ender 5 Plus, I'm extremely rusty with CAD. Gotcha. What are you using, Fusion? I'm sure the XL will lead the way in innovations to this hobby, just like the MK3. Yeah, so I think that, you know, and again, we will get to doing some stuff, but I also really enjoy kind of just hanging out and talking a little bit at least. And we've done so much building last month here. It's kind of nice to take a bit of a breather. One thing that's cool is somebody asked in today's Prusa Live, you know, hey, you know, is the XL going to be open source? You guys are going to open source it, right? And they did confirm that yes, it will be open source. It sounds like they are going to open source the majority of it, like I think maybe CAD and firmware. At launch, they said they don't ever release the open source files before launch because they don't want clones. They don't want clones out before they can even ship their machines. And then they said though that they are going to delay releasing the open source files for the electronics. And the reason for that is because of all the shortages going on right now, they don't want to release all the electronics and have the clone makers bidding on the same chipsets that they need for to build their own XLs before they even built them. So it sounds like the goal is to release most of it open source, and then once the initial pre-order hype has died down, which I imagine will take a solid year from when they start shipping, that's when they'll fully open source the rest of it, which honestly, like as a company that is for profit, I think that that's totally fair. Like, I don't know what more you could really ask for. So I am really curious to see. Also what, once these machines get in the hands of others, how they're able to be implemented in a way where they're, you know, some of them are more accessible as far as price goes to current machines. So, but yeah, some of the stuff just looks really, really rad. So it's really cool. DJ Natty's in the house. What's going on? Fusion 360, gotcha. Yeah, it's if you don't do a whole lot of CAD, it definitely takes a little bit to pick it back up. Nobody really needs the XL. I feel the same way. Did you do the input shaper and the PA? Oh, you were the one that suggested it. I just mentioned right now that I discovered from somebody that if you do the pressure advance before input shaper, you should do it after as well. So I have not done it yet. We're gonna do it today. It sounded like they're going to open source enough to allow customers to modify it. Yeah, exactly. Yep. And they stressed the point that, like, well, they didn't stress the point, but Prusa stated that, like, you know, their goal with open sourcing it is so that way, like, customers can, you know, print out replacement parts or improve upon their machines if they want. Like, whether, you know, with this, it's like making custom tool heads and stuff like that. And they said that they're cool with like, you know, I would imagine something like the Prusa Bears or the Caribou line, where they're like actually taking the machine, making some improvements to it, and then selling it as their own version. But like, they don't open source it for things like, you know, exact one-to-one clones. Like, that's not their goal. So yeah, I think that, again, based off of the fact that they are a company that has obviously spent a lot of money and time on R&D for this thing, like the fact that they want to make sure they ship out what they need before they give all of those, the keys to the castle, like that just makes a lot of sense to me. Oh, I didn't see, oh, Nero, yeah. I thought you were talking about the Prusa Live today, because Prusa actually mentioned Nero on his stream today, which was kind of cool. I think he called him Nido at first, but then he got it right. I think I heard they will be Clipper compatible, but not with their support, but that is better than the Mini. Yeah, they actually mentioned the Mini in regards to that as well today, and that's the second time I've heard them talk about Clipper. I think they mentioned it on Joel's interview video, and they did mention it today as well. It doesn't sound like it's a definitive thing, but I feel like with how popular Clipper is becoming, like, they'd be silly not to have at least a variant of it. Like, even if they build just like a basic profile where, like, here's the pinouts for the config and all that, and then, like, you know, some of the rest of it's left up to the community, I think that would still be super cool. Have you seen the Tiny T version of the Trident? I have. It is awesome and adorable. Okay, so let's at least get the ball rolling on this. Let me see here. Let's pull up the screen. I've got a couple. Okay, so I've got this pulled up, which basically just shows, you know, what to connect from the ADXL to the Raspberry Pi. And I actually, because I already have the other Voron 0, I printed out this guy. Let me see, get the monster out of the way. So this is what we're gonna install. It basically just bolts onto the front of the Mini Afterburner. And I already soldered in the pin headers previously. And this is totally overkill, but I had time on my hands, and so I labeled, I don't know how well you can see that, but everything's labeled, so that way I can easily see like where to plug things in on here. And then the other side has like, man, that's really bad looking, the GPIO pins that these need to go to, just so that way, I don't know, labels, man. So, they even have it on the blog post. Oh, sick, that's awesome. That reminds me, I see that Big Tree Tech has just started a, they have, I did not know that. If you got info on that, I would love to read up a little bit more about what Big Tree Tech's doing. So you're saying their TFTs are gonna be Clipper compatible, that's their goal? Okay, so let's start off with, I guess, plugging everything in physically. So I'm going to start off with, you guys told me last stream to not just hit the power switch, so let's go ahead and shut down the correct way, which will just take, I think, a second or so. And then let's go ahead and plug things in. So I'm gonna flip the switch. We're gonna have to take the back panel off, which I shouldn't have even put the back panel on before we did all this, but so let's go ahead and remove this filament spool in the back. I got something kind of cool in today. I'm gonna do a full video on filament drying on the main channel, which I've covered it quite a few times. It's such an important topic, and like the more time I've been 3D printing and the more I'm using materials other than just PLA, I realize just how stinking important. Actually, let's take the back panel off. Just how important it is, because even with PTG here, like so because I've been doing laser stuff, I've been having the windows open, and I'm probably 15 minutes from the ocean, maybe 20, and so the moisture coming in from the ocean or gets pretty bad. And so the spool of PETG that I had on the Prusa Mini by the window, the difference from that night I was printing to the next morning when I was printing was insane. Like the popping sounds were crazy. So I got a filament dryer in that I'm gonna be testing out that looks really cool. It's a little bit pricey, but it's kind of rad. And then I also got these in today from the same company, and the company is, I don't know how you say it, EIBOS, IBOS. But these are super cool, and I know they're not new per se, but basically filament goes in bag zips closed, and then there's just a little pump that pumps out all of the moisture, which is pretty rad, and it's fun. It's kind of fun to watch. So for sure, all of my nylons, I think I've got like 15 bags. All my nylons are going to be dried and then going into these bags. The couple spools of PVA and TPU I've opened are all going in those bags. So I think the game plan is going to be to find a model, and I haven't decided which one yet, and I will print it with how the spool is on my shelf right now. Then we will dry it, and then I'll print the exact same thing, just so we can kind of do an apples to apples of just how much of a difference it makes. Fabreeko's in the chat? He is. What's going on? It's come a long way. The end product looks absolutely awesome. I did run out, it's funny, because the carbon fiber ABS for this also came from Fabreeko, and I ended up being just shy of enough. Basically, there was plenty, but I goofed on the last stream. The skirts I printed out were unibody skirts that looked awesome in the carbon fiber ABS. Well, when we went to install them last stream, we discovered that the Voron 0.1 has slightly longer skirts, and I didn't have enough to reprint them. So we went with gray. We went with gray for the skirts, but honestly, like, it still looks sick. Finally, someone put the hole in the middle of the bag. Oh, were they towards the edges on the other versions? Yeah, this looks great. Their filament dryer that I still have in the box over there, it's kind of pricey. Like, I think it's $150, but the things I like about it is that it takes 2 spools, not one. So that way, if you're running like, I don't know, nylon and PVA or nylon and some water soluble, you can have both in there. Or it takes a larger, like 3 kg spool, and it goes up higher in temp than, because I've been using this guy for probably ever since I did a review on it, which was probably like two years ago, 1.5 years ago. God, it's dirty. The Sunlu Filo Dryer S1, and it's worked okay. I could definitely say that this thing works. I've used it enough times with enough materials, but when it came time to dry out nylon, the temperature cap on that is 55°C, which just isn't really hot enough. I think it took something like 2 to 3 days for me to get the nylon to a point where it was printable. And that's just, if you actually need to print something in a timely fashion, that blows. So the IBOS one goes up to 70°C or 75. And I know that Sunlu is releasing a new one. I think it's the S2. And they had reached out seeing if I wanted to test it out in comparison, but they're going the Kickstarter route again. And I don't, like, the community doesn't like Kickstarters, so therefore I also am avoiding Kickstarters a lot. And they really screwed up on their first Kickstarter where they were shipping retail units before Kickstarter backed units. And so I just told them I'm not interested until like anyone can buy it off the shelf. So we'll see when that actually comes out. We will send out a new one Friday. Wait, did I miss that? Fabreeko. I'm hoping finding some deals on ASA for Black Friday. Hoping to start printing sourcing parts for the V0 or Tiny T. Yeah, I still like really would love for both ASA. I'd love for ASA to become more of a replacement for ABS, because I just don't see why you do ABS over ASA if the prices were the same and you've had the same color selection, but also for ABS just to get some cooler colors. Like the company in Canada that makes their like sparkly ABS is the only company I know of that I've seen doing cool ABS, like other than, you know, solid colors. A new carbon fiber. No. It's fine. It's fine. It's this thing's good, man. I'm happy with the gray skirts. I appreciate it though. I have a print dry that can hold 2 spools. The print dry is rad. The print dry also though is, I think the base version of the print dry is like $200. So it's also like, you know, more than, oh cool, that's what I needed. It's also more than the Sunlu filler dryer, but I will say that the print dry is pretty damn effective, because that's what that is what I have also used in the past quite a bit, and I do like the print dry. That's a solid option. What's everybody got going on tomorrow? I know that I looked up online and like I wasn't sure if like how many places celebrate Turkey Day or Thanksgiving, and it's a lot more than I thought. I think it's at like 17 countries celebrate Thanksgiving, including Canada. Yes, Sparta, exactly. When are you, Fabreeko, when are you guys gonna get in some crazy ASAs or some sparkly ABSs, man? I don't think there's anybody in the US that's got them. It'd be like you'd be the one spot where you can get them from. Hey, Pie's here. You didn't miss a lot, man, other than, other than talking about, let me see, we're almost loose. Ooh, I did want to also give a huge thank you to Pie. He reached out to me after seeing me use like a toy screwdriver the other day on stream and sent out some awesome tools. And you guys are probably gonna laugh because they're in a, they're in like a Tupper. They're in like, not a Tupper, but they're in like this little container thing. But yeah, massive thank you. You sent out some really cool tools, and one that was really handy was, if you guys were here, I think it was last stream actually, I had to cut the spring for the mini afterburner. The tensioner was just, it was too, oh, Filamentum coming soon, sick. Filamentum makes awesome, both ASA and ABSs. I had to cut the spring because it was just too aggressive as far as tension on the mini afterburner, and I used a Dremel, which was pretty sketchy inside, and so this was one of the tools that arrived, and so I was able to just clip off the links of the spring for the tension. So I've got some awesome tools. Between you and G-Money sending those tweezers, I've got like 4 different tweezers now. So thank you guys. Okay, so we've got everything opened up in the back. Now let's spin this around, and we are going to be taking off. Whew. No, oh my God. I'm so used to my other Voron that has the liftable top hat. I was trying to lift the top hat. This one's bolted. I'm probably going to install the same utility belt mod, because I will say that like not having the the top removable hinge after having it for quite a long time is definitely brutal, but that's a pretty simple mod if I want to do it. So let's go ahead and mount the accelerometer. We are going to remove, I think it's the 2 farthest out. Yeah, so let's get those off. Did you end up hinging yours, DC? Or adding the utility belt mod? I think the only way the only other option I would think of is if I just somehow have the top hat on like semi-loose or held in by magnets, but as of right now, it's like per the instructions bolted in place, and I don't know, it just not having access so easily to the top inside after having it is a little bit of a See why you need the carbon fiber ABS, always comes in handy. Yeah, you're not wrong. If you If you've got another one, man, I will totally take it, because I was just thinking, you're right, if I do end up doing the utility belt mod, it would be nice to have it in the same black. I actually almost picked up some Polyterra off of you. Let's see. Oh, my big arms are gonna be in the way. Let's see, maybe if I do it from this side, you guys can see a little better, maybe. Also, since you're here, do you guys have anything going on for Black Friday? Let's see, so I'm going to basically just replacing the existing screws with these longer ones and the accelerometer, so it just bolts right into place. I can, if anybody ends up watching this video later on, come on, screw. I can place links in the description to this specific mod, because it is really nice for the Voron 0, since it just, you know, again, basically bolts right in place. You run this and then you remove it and you're good to go. Let's see, I'm such a bad sponsor. We make our own screwdriver set, and I haven't sent you a kit. I know you said that. Pi also sent me these. I was actually using, I think at the beginning of the stream, or the beginning of this build, just like cheap little Allen keys. I don't know why. I mean, I think the reason why is because most of the printers that prior to doing this Voron stuff that I was building were, you know, just a couple screw assembly, like Creality style machines. So I never really needed a good set of these hand tools. But yeah, I would love also, if you've got those, the Fabreeko ones look awesome. I would totally rock those. Okay, so we've got the accelerometer in place. We've got everything plugged in on this end. So I'm just gonna feed, these cables, which are gonna go to the Pi, down the back. I think that there's enough space kind of in this middle slot. Let me just try to grab them. My stupid labels that I put on here are making it a little bit tricky. All right, we got the smaller one through, which was easier. So let's see if we can get this bigger one. Come on. I must have routed them differently on the first time I did this, because I don't remember the labels being so in the way. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and pull the cables through. They should all still be mounted in place. Cool. All right, let's spin this around. Okay. And then, let's see. I will send you my Fabreeko printable tool holder as well. Do it. I might, yeah, please. Let's see. Just printed, mounted the LED mounts for it and printed them. Nice. Yeah, LEDs I missed on this too, which I will definitely be adding. I love the LEDs. Let's see, we'll be a part of the Fattiest sale, 15% off nozzles, 10% hot ends and filament, 26th to 29th, nice. Also some ASA, 20% off linear rails, 20% off, sick. Best to follow our social media or check the site on Black Friday. Sounds good. If you've got a link, well, I guess I already have the website linked in this video, but if there's another link that for the socials, I can add that to this stream as well if anyone catches it between now and then. Just soldered the GPIO pins onto my 02. Gonna use it with my Ender 3 Pro and Clipper. Nice. Yeah, all the Prusa Mini. So if you guys caught my video last Saturday, let's go to my face. So I showed that I designed this little case, and you can actually see it kind of looks bad because it's actually PTG, and because of the moisture that it absorbed, it looks kind of bad, especially on the retractions. But If you do end up printing out this case for the Pi Zero, I made two versions of it. So one has holes that are side and side, which is meant to mount on like a 2040. But because the Prusa Mini uses, I think, 3030s, I'm designing another one that has two like in the center, so that way you can use it on like a 2020 or 3030. Also, the little standoffs inside here are meant to be like snap in place, and I spent a long time making sure that they were snap in place. However, all of my prototypes were printed on the Voron at like 120 to 150 millimeters a second. When I finally printed it out at normal speeds on like the Prusa Mini, the the standoffs were slightly too small because of the fact that the additional speed caused the tolerances to not be quite as tight. So if you do end up wanting to print out one of these little cases, which they're pretty rad, they are like snap and pop, and the Pi snaps into place, you might need to scale it up to 101%. That's what I ended up doing with them now. So I'm gonna make notes, and I'm also gonna upload the 2020/Prusa Mini variant as well. Yeah, okay. Yeah, 101, I'm gonna make I need to adjust the, sorry, words. I need to adjust the page for it on things to just basically add that note, because I was so proud that it snap fit together, because my goal was like as little tools as possible. And then when I printed it on the Prusa Mini, it was like, oh my God, it's too loose. So 101% should do the trick if you end up reprinting it out. Okay, let's go ahead and get this plugged into the Pi. I'm just going to, while I'm doing it, I'm gonna be looking at this little graph right here. So we've got the ADXL, and so it needs to go, it's pin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So red goes 9 down. Then once I get that one in, the rest of them I should be able to fairly easily see. Let's go back here. That was the, where is it? Ground, 3.3. I said 9 down? Yeah, from the left side. Let's see, counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Once I get the first one in, the rest of them are a lot easier. Okay, so there's that one. Then ground is right across, cross down. These labels are awesome. I will say, like, I mean, granted, again, they got in the way a little bit, but just having the wires labeled, especially because I'm probably going to be using this accelerometer quite a bit, is definitely nice. So then we've got SD0 and CS. So yellow. Let's see. Zoom in. What? There we go. So SD0 is the green, yellow is SDI. It was, now I blew it up too big. 1 second, guys. Oh, that's why. Okay, so I labeled it 3.3 volts is Raspberry Pi. SDO is GPIO 009. I just want to make sure I don't plug any of these in wrong. Okay, then we've got green next, which is SDO. SDO is on this. I don't have SDO on here. It must be SDA or S. It is SDA. Okay. So we've got SDA, and then we've got, the last one is SCL, which is you. And then across from SCL is going to be blue, which is CS. Okay, they should all be plugged in correctly now. Sorry for my big head. I had to blow it up so big that I can't even see. There we go. Let's see. I wanted some of the new honey badger rails soon. Wait, which mini? The one right here? It was already pre-assembled. I'm gonna be getting a couple more minis from the Prusa Black Friday sale, just because there's like a rack over here and I want just a couple of Prusa minis hooked up with Octoprint for like, I'm debating on selling a couple. I've got a couple of product ideas. And so there's a couple things I might end up selling. And although the Vorons are blazing fast and I can whip out parts way quicker, I want the Vorons for like more prototyping stuff that needs to be happening quickly, and then the minis just to be kind of like slow and steady. And so there was a guy locally on OfferUp that had 3 Prusa minis and he was downsizing, and so I got it pretty good price on it. So yeah, I didn't have to assemble it. The thing that sucks is though, and I couldn't see it because when I got it, like it wasn't exactly super bright. I tried showing it on camera, but there's a little bit of like white overspray. I mean, quite a bit on the back side of the machine. So because he's like downsizing and he was doing some construction on his place, I don't know what the hell overspray got on the Mini, but it hasn't been problematic other than the bed. The bed was having adhesion issues, and I think it was because of whatever that little bit of spray was kind of got on the bed. So once I cleaned it, it's printing great now and it's working great. It just kind of sucks because it was in like pretty new condition. I mean, the screen had the protector on it, the bed looked great, like everything looked great. And so it just sucks that he obviously didn't move it far enough out of the way when he was doing freaking home repair. 5-stack versus original Mini could be a cool video. I was actually gonna reach out to you on that. The only thing is I don't want this to be like, I want it to be a Mini that comes from Prusa directly. So when I placed the order Friday, I'm planning on doing one for the kit, which looks like the lead time is already 2+ months, and then one for a fully assembled. And so if the fully assembled gets here in a reasonable time, then that could be a lot of fun to kind of do an apples to apples comparison. So definitely up for that if you are. Let's see, input the recommended. Okay. Cool, so we have got that all wired up. Let's go ahead and plug, where's the power cable? Let's plug the power in. Flip it on. Hopefully I did plug in everything correctly. Oh, it froze again, guys. Good old camera. I don't know what triggers it. It like happens at random. Let's see, mobile Sony. Deactivate, activate. Yeah, we're back, cool. Okay, so. Ooh, I'm gonna remember to ask, if you have not, please hit the like button, it definitely helps. I was actually stoked because I haven't really announced this channel other than I think when I did my original Voron video some months ago, and like, there's been some subscribers rolling in, so I'm really excited. I'll tell, I guess, both Fabreeko and you guys. So my game plan, as long as everything goes correctly, is to have a video on this Voron on the main channel next Saturday. And it's pretty much gonna be talking about the cost difference between when I sourced it myself, what the build has been like, and I will be mentioning this channel as well, so that way hopefully we'll get some more viewers over here. And then kind of again the things that I liked about building a kit, and then there's 2 things that I can see being beneficial from sourcing, but can also be pretty easily applied to getting this kit. So I don't want to give away too much, otherwise there's no point in watching the full video, but that's the game plan, is that we will have that video hopefully next Saturday. Not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. So, okay, now that we got that, let's go ahead and make sure we should be booted up. Yep. Excuse me. Okay, so installation instructions, wiring done, mounting the accelerometer, we don't need to worry about. Note that we should already, wait, actually, note that should require additional software. First, you'll need to run Raspberry Pi. Oh, we might actually need to connect to the Pi. Again, I've only done this once, so I will not pretend to be the expert with getting this going, but I don't remember it being incredibly difficult. 92.168.0.161. Port looks good. Awesome. Okay, we're just going to copy and paste that info. All right, to install, note that depending on the CPU, it may take a lot of time, up to 10 to 20 minutes. Well, it did not take us 10 to 20 minutes. That took us, I don't even know if it took us 10 to 20 seconds. Next, run the following command, okay. Is Maker Bright US CNC? Wait, did I not type in, what? Oh, fuck, hold on. Okay, here we go. Is, if you're in the US, check DigiKey. I know that, I had mentioned them and DC said he wasn't sure whether they had them, but I ordered my first one from Canada, which was way too expensive. I only did it because I needed it for a video and was like, all right, I'm just gonna pay, but I was able to get 2 more from DigiKey, and it said they only had 2 available when I ordered them, and then I checked like a day later and it still said only 2 available. So I'm wondering if they're just saying that, so that way there's like a 2 cap limit per order or something like that, but that's, let's see, afterwards, I would check there. Afterwards, check the following instructions. Check the follow and instruction, just set up the Linux MCU on Raspberry Pi. Pretty sure last time I checked this, we didn't really need to do this, but let's see. Interfacing options, and then it says SPI, right? Enable SPI. So let's see, SPI. Would you like it to be enabled? Yes, I would. SPI is enabled. Awesome. Is it going to reboot? Maybe. No, it's not. Cool. Add the following to the printer config file. Let's see. Someone go config. Oh, so it has its own probe points, 100, 100, an example. Okay, let's copy this for right now. And we will paste it on the bottom. Is there, if you're here, DC, do you know if there are recommended probing points for the ADXL? I thought when it ran it on mine, it just went to the center of the build plate. Is there a better source of Bondtech guts that don't need sanding down? If you go with, if you're talking, Chris, for the sake of like the gear for the mini afterburner, the one that came in the LDO kit that was Bondtech official and not a clone didn't require me to sand it down at all. And I think that Fabreeko has those. I know that he has them. I just don't know whether they're Bondtech OEM or whether they're third party, but maybe check Fabreeko if you're in the United States, because I know I saw a product page for them on there. Let's go save and restart. It is advised to start with one probe point in the middle of the print bed, slightly above it. 60, 60, 20. Okay, cool, thank you. So that would make sense, because that's basically right in the center. All right. And Pi just did this. 60, 60, 20. What is the RC script? Is advised deprobe 1 point. Restart clipper via the restart command. Wait, did it not? Yeah, it did, okay. I'm in the US, costs about 35. Oh, yeah, check Fabreeko's website, man. I think, I know that I briefly saw them, and I think the price point was around $10. The RPI microcontroller link. Did I miss it on here? Checking this out. Now you can test a connection for non-bed slingers. Printer is not ready. Wait, what? Oh! That's why I goofed, huh? Printer is not ready. The Clippy host software is attempting to connect. So where did I goof? Was it? This is what you're talking about. After installing clippers, so this is what you're talking about. Okay, I already enabled SPI. Sony describes the process of running Clipper on a Raspberry Pi and use the same Raspberry Pi as a secondary MCU. Why use secondary? Dedicated control configuration of a limited pre-configured exposed spin. Using RPI when Clipper is installed, that's when you use the possible directly use the GPI on the buses of the RPI so Clipper. Warning if the platform. Okay, so we did that. We enabled SPI. Make the menu config below. Okay. I don't remember doing this the first time that I did this, but that doesn't mean that I didn't do it. I damn well might have. In the menu, set the microcontroller architecture to Linux process. And then quit, Q for quit, save Y for yes. To build and install new microcontroller code. Was I supposed to hit make clean before or after? After. Okay. Make clean. Make. Okay. Now I should be good, I think, right? If I go back and I go firmware reset. No. To build the microcontroller code of Clippy log reports a permission denied error. One time interconnect. Go back to putty. Oh, I do get an error. Unknown initial pin, PA14. Identify the correct GPIO chip. Raspberry Pi reclones the pins. Yeah, it's interesting. Sudo service clipper start, make clean. Unknown initial pin. Go back into the make menu config. Okay. 1 second. PA14. Oh, is that because I had previously set that? Because that's what threw the error, right? It was the P. Oh, 1 second. Oh fuck, I can't see from here. I think because this is from like setting the PA14 was from the initial configuration, but since I'm configuring a secondary one and that's starting the error, would the move be to remove that? Take out PA14. Okay, cool. It's weird. I don't remember. I'm glad you guys are here because I will say I do not remember having to do this for. Okay, so now we're gonna go make. I would imagine do the same thing again, right? Make clean, and then make. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Well, we didn't get the error. Cool. And we did it. You guys did it. I didn't do it, you guys did it. Thank you guys. G Funny and DC, I appreciate you guys. It's so weird though, I mean again, granted it's been a couple of months probably now since I did it the one time, but I don't remember having to do that. I probably did, and it was just like one of those late nights where I had all of the Clipper like tabs open and I was just kind of like quickly copy pasting things, but I don't remember having to do that, so thank you guys. Okay. So now that we've got that, we should be able to bounce back over. No, this was a link off of that page. We already added that. You guys gave me the recommended points, and we should do accelerometer query. And hopefully we don't get an error returned. No, failed to set. This is genuinely connection problems, e.g. faulty wiring or faulty. I know it's not a faulty. I could double check it. Puffing that stuff into you. Let me go ahead and shut this down really quick and then turn it off. I'm gonna double check that I plugged in everything correctly because who knows? So SCL is on the outside as it should be, then SDA is next, then SDO, okay, then space, then ground is on the outside, 3VCS. Now that looks correct. I have a feeling that I goofed on the, probably on the pins on the Raspberry Pi, to be honest with you. Let's see. Alright, let me pull up one more time. This guy, go back to the top. Okay, and we counted, orientation is correct. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Eyes, you're playing tricks on me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it starts at 9, and 9 is supposed to be. So 3 volts should be 3 volts, ground should be ground. Oh, you know what? Okay, let's see. 3 volt, ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope, that looks right. So 3 volts is definitely incorrectly. Ground should be 1 across and down. And it is, right? 1 across and down, okay. Then CS, which is the next one. Let's see, is down to the right. That should be CS, that looks correct. And then under SDO is GPIO 9. SDO should be, that's also correct. And below SDO is SDA, which is yellow. And SCL is, huh. No, it all looks wired incorrectly to me. I know the accelerometer is not bad because I definitely used it. 9th pin on the top and 9th on the bottom. Yeah, 9 and 9. It's freaking bizarre. Why can't it ever just work the first time? All right, let's see. I mean, they're all seated. Make sure they're all pushed down. SCL, SDA, SDO, SDO, CS, VCC, and ground. Yeah, they're all plugged in correctly. Let me make sure that my board, I mean, I labeled them in a way where, let's see, so 3. My board is definitely different than the way theirs is. Mine is like, okay, mine's like the one on the right. But they still go in the exact same. Red, yellow, green, orange, and black, space blue. Yeah, it's the exact same. Huh. Let's try rebooting. I don't think I mixed up the label. There's always a chance, but because I've used this wire harness before, I don't see how I would have done that. But I won't rule it out completely. I've done sillier things before. I had the same error. It worked when I used a separate USB power supply for the Pi. The accelerometer is definitely not good with noise. Interesting. Do I have a meter? It could be. It definitely could be that. The wires are. Let's see. Let's try it one more time to see what happens here. Fingers crossed. I'm not okay, where the hell? Okay, for non-bed slingers in Octoprint, we're not in Octoprint, but nope. Failed to send register to, this is interesting. I can check to make sure they're all making connections, but power and ground are swapped. Wait, power and ground, let's see. If you use a 40-pin stackable connector, the solder wires to the pins are, oh, gotcha. The error says failed to set ADXL 345 register, and then it says 0x2D to 0x0, got 0xFF. This is generally indicative of connection problems, e.g. faulty wiring or a faulty ADXL 345 chip, which I just don't see how that can be the case. So I can check between like pin of Pi. Let me see here. So like, this is gonna be not fun. So this is going to be ground on the outside. Ground should be, well, let me actually check. Let's see, let me unplug all these. Also gonna kill the power so I don't do anything stupid and destroy the Pi. So this is going to be ground. Huh. Okay, so ground's good. Next is 3.3. That's good. Next is, what the hell's the third one? CS. I have a hard time. Wait, which one was CS? There we go. I use pretty thin wire. It definitely, you know, it could be, let's see, CS. That's good. I don't actually remember. Pi, it's thin wire. Pi asked me about that. I think it was 22, maybe? I can check. I got it off AliExpress. It's pretty thin wire, but again, it's strange to me that it worked the first time. I wonder if I route it differently. Let me just, hold on, let me check the last 3 really quick here. All right, so SCL. SDO, SCS, SCL. Come on, multimeter. Huh, SCL is not. Huh, maybe it's SCL. I'll come back to it, but yeah, SCL doesn't seem to be making a connection. Next is SDA, which is this one. Okay, now none of these two are. Is it both of these? Maybe it's this second set of, let's see, the last one was SDO. So I think that this 4, 1 second, SDO is this one. SDO. Okay, so that's good. So those 4 are good. It seems like it might be this set of 2 wires that is not playing nicely. Maybe these got swapped. Let me see, if I go to SDA, okay, so this is SDA. Yeah, those don't seem to be doing anything. And then SCL, maybe there's a break in these wires. This is SCL. No, SCL is working. SDA. Okay, I think it's SDA. Yeah, it might be a bad crimp. These particular connections are not meant for the type of crimps that I use with them. I mean, the crimp looks pretty damn good to me. And this was, again, SDA. Seems like it's working now. No, they're all working. All right, let me try plugging them back in. Maybe I don't know. All right, so let's see. All right, so just checking again. So 3 volts goes there. Ground we established, or let's check this one. Ground goes across, then CS is down there. All right, I'm gonna plug this stuff in really quick, one more time. Everybody say like a silent prayer. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, you know what, dude? Wait up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's definitely the crimps. Because I'm feeling that it is not, it's not biting well. Let's see. Let me see if I plug it in without the cover. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then yeah, I think it's my crimping. Ground is right down. Okay, I'm going to recrimp the 3.3 volts because the connection just seems really shoddy. And the issue I have is the crimps I'm using aren't meant for these particular caps. Like, let's see. It's not meant for, oh man, it froze again. Gotcha. So it's not meant for these, well, you guys can't really see that that well. I don't have the correct caps for them. So I'm going to recrimp and then I'm actually not gonna put it in this connector for the sake of running it right now. But yes, I agree, Pi, that having colored wires would have been a lot easier. Let me grab, let's see. All right, stepping over the cable. Let's see, just pull this one off. There we go. I need snippers. There we go. I'm hoping it was just this one particular wire that didn't have a great connection. I don't know if you remember last week, but I said like this week would just be a kind of chill. That's still too long. But this week would kind of be just a chill stream. I have a theory that either one, saying that jinxes the stream, or two, that there's some connection between things not going as smoothly when you stream them. Okay. Ooh, that did not go in the way I wanted. Okay. We're just not gonna put a cover on it for this. All right. All right, fingers crossed. I need to order. Does anybody have a recommendation for a good set of just different crimp connectors? Because like I have a couple of these. I guess you can see it here probably. I have a couple of these kits, which has been great for things like the umbilical mod. I don't have like a good variety of different like crimps and stuff, different connectors. Hi, Lisa. All right, let's try it one more time. Come on, Lisa, be our Shamrock. Oh. You guys didn't see it. You guys didn't see it. You guys didn't see it. Look at it. Well, I mean, you could see it in there, but. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Crimp Tool, the PA09 I do have. Greg, that's this guy. You know, I think mine's a different color than a lot of them, but Greg from Greg's Maker Corner recommended this, and it was the best purchase for the Voron build, especially when the first one that I did when I didn't have the kit and I had to do all the crimps myself. That is the most crimping I've ever done in my life. So I will not pretend either that my crimp game is strong. It's gotten better through this, but yeah, thank God. I'm so happy. Thank you guys. So, okay, cool. So that did the trick. It was that one, when I kind of slowly put the pin or like the end of the connector on, I felt that I was like, this doesn't feel as tight as it should. Thank you for being a good luck charm. Yes, keep your expensive tool for what it does, but no cheaper one really works well like it does. Yeah, I mean, so I thought it was also pricey, just given that it seems like, I'm like, huh, the simple hand tool is like 50 something, or I think it's like $50-ish, but the way I see it is like there's that saying about tools, right? Like if you buy a good tool once, you only have to buy it once, versus if you buy a cheap tool, make it shake the desk. So that was my theory, was like, if I get this one good crimper, and knowing myself, I will be working with electronics until I'm very, very old. Like I might as well just get one that people recommend. I know there's even like one that's more premium, but that seemed ridiculous. This seems like best performance to like price as far as like what you're getting. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm gonna put the camera on here so you can hopefully see it do its shake thing. So for anyone watching this later on, if you're running into errors, make sure that your crimps are good, because that was my error. So let's go ahead, and says you should see current measurements, measuring. Okay, now you can run some real life tests. Run the following command: test axis X. Oh, must home first. Yep. Oops. Oh, my my accelerometer wires definitely blocked the X homing, but that's okay. It's doing it. It's doing it. No, you didn't miss anything, Lisa, other than like a little bit of frustration on my end. Literally, I was working to get to where I got to right when you showed up. Can you guys still see it wiggling? It's doing the high pitched. My mood, my mood totally shifted. I feel so happy now. Because I was just like, it was such a like, I was like, hey, we're gonna run this, and this thing will be like, you're ready to rock and roll. And then since it didn't happen, I can also, since you can't really see that, it's testing the different frequencies. Dude, it's 5:30 and we just got it going. Oh, good things take time. I beg to differ with that. Maybe best in its price range, but I still feel it's overpriced. Ooh, now you can hear it. Okay, I need a shamrock to get my printers to not fail. What's going on with your printers, Lisa? DC. I think you did that on purpose to make us unprofessionals feel better about ourselves. That's exactly right. It wasn't me, it wasn't me just struggling. Wow. There go the vibrations, 120 hertz. I know, that's crazy. It also seems to be louder on this cart. The other one, I think I ran it over here on my bigger desk that's got more weight on it, but yeah, it got pretty loud. We're up to 133, cool, we got it. All right, let's go screen again. We got our stats, we got our max velocity, max acceleration, waiting for calculations. Reference data written, okay, cool, so we got the file. Know that it will create vibrations. Be sure to observe the printer, making sure they're not too violent. Never too violent. Cool, so that works. Wait, what's this? Vibration gets you strong in attempt. Cool, now we're gonna do it for the y-axis. Same thing, copy over. And we'll go back to, well, I guess I'll put it in here. Let it shake like a salt shaker. Compared to the price of Molex hand tools, I'll pay the engineer. I think Molex hand tool was the one that I looked up when I was looking into like quality crimpers. But I think that the Molex one, to me, like the vibe I got was like, if you're crimping all day, every day for like as part of your job, then maybe it makes sense to have those. But for, you know, me like being a hobbyist, it just seemed like it was ridiculously priced. They lose bed adhesion and do weird things. They're clean, leveled. I think it's the slicer settings. I know that one of your printers has powder coated PEI. What's the other bed surface, Lisa? Starting to make that loud sound again. You do realize you want to do this again when you have it in its final resting place. Laugh out loud. Well, this is like, well, I guess this isn't its final resting place, but we'll see, DC. We will see. The other one I've moved around quite a bit, and I feel like it's been like at least close to good enough. But yeah, I do think this cart definitely amplifies vibrations, which is why when like I move like the top cam, you can, well, you can't. I don't want to shake it because I don't want to screw up the. So. Molex tools are also overpriced. $18 for the microfit 3D knitting pull is just stupid, but what you gonna do if you want to reuse connectors? I got the Webcam texture PEI. The LDO has their version of it. Okay. For the textured PEI, I mean, I guess the main things I'd recommend are, I was just talking about this earlier because on the Prusa Mini, when I got this, I've used a lot of powder coated PEI and I was having ridiculous adhesion issues, which was driving me crazy because I'm like, is this bed surface? Like, what's wrong? So it's very prone to oils and fingerprints having a major effect on its ability to adhere. So what I ended up doing with that one was I took it into the sink just with like cold to lukewarm, wasn't nearly as loud, to lukewarm water, and just cleaned it up really nicely. Then afterwards I dried it with a paper towel to do my best to not touch it. And then usually after every couple of prints, maybe not every couple, if I start to notice after a few prints that it's not sticking as well, I will just hit it with a tiny bit of, I just use 70% IPA, primarily because that's just what the store had during COVID, because they didn't have any of the all the 90 or 99% was gone, or the higher stuff. And it does a really good job. I think the key things with powder coated is make sure you're using like a good amount of heat. So my default usually is like 50 to maybe 60 for PLA. Usually 50 is fine, but 60. And then PETG, I always do 70. Prusa's profile was like 85 on the Mini, but at least 70. Go really slow. I mean, I'd have to check my profile, but I think maybe 20-ish to 30-ish. That might even be like, I mean, you can go as slow as you want. Cause like you can always scale off of that, right? Once you start to get better adhesion. And then, so what did I say, slow speeds. The powder coated beds usually like to have the nozzle a bit closer than smooth or glass. You really want to push the material into like the powder coated bed. And then the last thing would be you can also make your first layer a bit wider if you're not doing that. So like if you're printing at a 0.2, maybe do like a 0.24 just to give a little extra material for that first layer. The next build, so I'm not entirely sure. I mentioned earlier, if you were here, that next week I think we're gonna laser some stuff with this laser engraver that I got, which I'm excited for. But I think that I'm probably going to be building a switch wire. I talked to Fabreeko about it a couple of weeks ago. I don't know when that'll start, but that's probably what I'm going to be doing. I do want to build the Enraged Rabbit carrot feeder, but I don't think I'm there yet. And I also would want to install it on a Voron. And even if I can somehow adapt it to work with the Mini Afterburner, it just seems silly to have it on such a small printer, and that's not really what I built these for in my mind, like why I wanted them. So yeah, probably a switch wire. The funny thing is that the professional tools prices today cheaper than they were 40 years ago. Back then they were all whew. Almost got all that typed really so before you said it. Sorry, DC. Yeah. Okay, so this is done. Not enough people building Tritons right now. I would love to build a Triton, but I can't. Well, if somebody was willing to sponsor Triton, I'd build it. But I just, like, with the kind of things I purchased recently, and also putting the Prusa XL on pre-order, even though I only put down a little bit, like, and I'm getting some Prusa Minis, like, I just can't, like, it's kind of outside of my current scope. But I would like to build one. I think they look awesome. Are you doing, for your switch wire, are you doing a LDO kit, DC, or are you sourcing on that one? You're not going to have any living space in your living room with all these builds. I did get rid of a few printers in the last week. I think it was last Wednesday was our last stream. After that, I was looking around and I had a couple printers that I was actually going to donate down at just Goodwill. And a friend of mine that's gotten into 3D printing was like, hey, I've got space. So I donated 3 of my printers to him. It was one resin. I donated the Voxelab Aquila, and then I donated another one, another printer. So I'm getting rid of a few of them. The main ones I like, yeah, it's very cramped in here. If I could do a pan of everything. Also, last Wednesday after the stream, I got these carts that, like, this is on a cart. There's a cart here, a cart here. I got 2 more carts. So there's a cart over here with a laser engraver on it, and a cart over there. So we're at absolute max capacity. I'm converting a Sunlu S8 into a switch wire starting Monday. That's awesome. Are you following a guide for it, or are you just gonna kind of like put the switch wire tool head on there and a couple other things? Are you basically going to be stripping it down and just using like the motors and things from it for your build? Go put it in Discord. I'm old and forget things. Sourcing mostly LDO stuff. I just happened on though. Then someone wanted me to build it for them before I could get started. Gotcha. Oh, so you're not building it for yourself? And that's right. The LDO, it's gonna be a while in the LDOs, I think, as far as like when they're actually here. I know there's been delays on a lot of the shipping stuff going on. And with the holidays and Black Friday, I only imagine that getting worse. So I think that containers are going to take even longer to get here. Okay, so we've got the CSV files. This will generate 2 CSV files. The files can be processed with standalone script on the Raspberry Pi to run that. The script will generate charts. Yeah, let's do that. LDO switchers are starting to ship from China to us on the first week of December. Oh, wow, yeah. So it probably will not be until the new year till they get in. That's what I was gonna say. I know that everyone I've talked to is just talking about how long things are taking to ship right now. Oh wait, this is actually instead of me seeing the image file, right? Or is this generating the image file? This will generate 2 CSV files. Okay. These files can be processed with a standalone script. Okay, gotcha. So this is, so that way I can see then these scripts will generate the chart. No, the script will generate the chart. Okay, so it does generate the chart. Down to a bare frame, new motors, and all linear rails. Gotcha. That's actually a really cool use of, so I don't want to give away too much, but this Saturday's video is a review of the Sermoon D1, and without getting into it, like, I think that I describe it as a swing and a miss for me, and I have it on the ground here. I'm done with it now for the sake of the review. I've had it for months, and I'm not sure what I want to do with it. Like, the acrylic panels on it, I'm thinking of taking off because it's got a lot of acrylic on all the sides of it and using it for some sort of like engraving project. And then I just don't know what I want to do with it. Like, it's got a really solid frame, but there's just some elements of it that I don't really like. And also mine had, I don't want to get too, there'll be a video Saturday on it, but I like the idea of taking kind of some, you know, kind of like okay based frames and converting it into something beastly, because like the conversion for that when you're done with it, it's gonna be awesome. There are only 14 likes and 23 here. Go ahead and give the guy a like. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, don't forget to hit the like button, guys. Okay, so we have done this. Generates charts. Cool, cool. The suggested configurations can be added. Should not exceed the max Excel. Should we get the charts for those that want to see them? Because all the values are also right here, but let's also do the charts. So I'm gonna really quickly, I'm gonna FTP so that way anyone that watches this after that wants to, because the charts are kind of cool. 192.168.161 user. Port 22. Okay, and I think it's under, is it Clipper out? No. Where are they? Clipper scripts, calibrate, no. Temp. I wonder if Army wants a SV04 for the Sermoon. What is that? What is the SV04? I could guess the printer, but I'll keep it to myself. Callie needs to innovate and not just copy and paste. Well, they've done some things. Like I've got the Ender 7. I had a lot of requests to check that out. I finally got that in. Well, I've had it in for a little bit. I just need to assemble it and test it. So I'm excited to see that. And then the Sermoon to me, like, kind of was them trying something different. And I did see that they announced another Surmoon, which they don't have any specs on yet, but other than like a small photo from, I think it was like a convention that was going on in Asia or something like that. But yeah, for me, just like, again, the video is going to go in. I spent a lot of time making this video, but not having a top enclosure to me seems really silly. It's basically like an ABS machine that they decided to not make an ABS machine. And I asked them if they had plans to release a top enclosure, and they said no. Mine has an issue where the right lead screw, once the motors stop getting power to them, it drops more than the left. So every single print, when it goes to home and print, the right side's always dipped down more than the left side, which that was the biggest pain out of all of it. So yeah, there's just some things, man. And like they went with a direct drive, which I was happy about, but like it's a pretty poor direct drive. Like the Sidewinder, which has like an Aero clone with a Volcano hot end clone, like that was a pretty good extruder direct drive setup for a, you know, kind of low cost machine. But like this one, it looks like they try to do it themselves, and it's just, it's a major temp directory. Did I miss it? Was it already? Logs? No. Why am I not seeing it? Temp resonance. Oops. Oh, it's on the root. My bad. There we go. Let's just drag them to our desktop. There they are. So these are kind of cool to see. At least I think so, since this is only I've only done this twice, so it's like kind of cool to see. So this is for our x-axis. This is for our y-axis. Soval SV. Oh, the IDEX. No. I know exactly the machine now. It's one of the older IDEX machines. I remember that machine now. I will say that this WeDo, I think it's the WeDo X40. I reviewed it like, I think it was earlier this year, and I think it's around a $600 printer, and it's got dual extrusion, independent dual extrusion, auto bed leveling, linear rail on the X. Like, this was a pretty impressive machine. I thought for the price, like, it was way more than fair. Oh, sick. The Mercury 1 looks awesome, actually. I think I saw it. I occasionally will go on your website and just look at the cool new things that you add, and so I think that I did look up the Mercury 1. It looks freaking awesome. It makes me sad I don't have an Ender 5 or Ender 5 Plus anymore, because that would have been a really cool install. Okay, so let me see here. Script will generate the charts. You will get the suggested frequencies as well as each input shaper is recommended for your setup. The suggested configurations can be added to input shapers section, or you can choose some other configuration yourself based on generated charts. Peaks correspond to resonance frequencies. Pad slinger printers. Keep in mind that the input shaper can create some smoothing in parts, automatic tuning of the input shaper, which we didn't run that script. Note that the reported smoothing values are some abstracted, projected values. These values can be used to compare different configurations. The higher the value, the more smoothing a shaper will create. However, these smoothing scores do not present any real measure of smoothing because the actual smoothing depends on the max acceleration. If you compare the previous adjusted parameters, the vibrations are a bit larger. Okay, so let's see here. I don't think by default it has, right? No. Oops. All right, so let's go ahead and add input shaper. Just add it down at the bottom. And then type. Okay, so let's start with Y. So it's saying it recommends ZV. I think ZV is what I went with on I think ZV is what I went with on my other Voron. Is ZV, I was gonna ask, either DC or, well, I guess anyone, is ZV what you guys used? Because I know that there's certain machines, like I think L is more commonly used on bed slingers, if I remember correctly, or like there's certain ones that, so this one says ZV, let me see if both of them show ZV. No, this one shows L. So ZV shows 69.6. MZV is pretty common. Let's see, so this one shows 70 and 90 vibration. Yeah, I don't really know the key differences between the different variants. I'm almost tempted to turn on my other Voron and see what I went with, but all right, we'll do MZV then. There we go. Okay, so we'll do MCV. So we're gonna do 70.6 for our Y. And then for our X, we are going to do 92. Exactly 92. I'm using MZVX, okay, and 3 hump. I need to, again, like with it only being the second time I've done it, and I like obviously am not a clipper master by any means. I'd love to know a little bit more about like the differences between them. Like I know that, I mean, one of the things I remember reading was based off of like the more smoothness, the more possibility of it kind of rounding out the part, if I remember correctly, like some of the corners or the sharpness. But looking at this graph, like, I mean, the difference between them is so minimal, like 0.04 to 0.05 at the other end of it. And then this one's 0.02 to 0.04. So, I mean, there's some difference, but like it's pretty marginal. I actually, I'm sure they're running the auto the auto calibration or auto tune is still, you know, way better than nothing. But okay, so we have got those inputted or input. I'm gonna save and restart. So then last time, if I remember correctly, let's see. I just did shaper calibrate, and yes, at the end, and that won't make for an informative video. I mean, it's cool if you like, yeah, I guess, I think most people that are like doing Clipper and like tweaking every aspect of it, like want such a specific control of their parameters, but it is nice that it's an option if you are just trying to like, you know, do a quick and dirty calibration. Okay, so I think last time, once I had ran input shaper, I believe I ran an acceleration test. Let's see, shaper calibrate command, necessary to choose right max XL value. If you're doing a shaper recalibration, report smoothing for shaper creation, testing custom accesses, input shaper auto calibration, which is what Fabreeko runs. Recalibration, offline processing. You know what, let me kill it. Hold on, let me kill the printer real quick. I'm gonna remove all of the cables. Okay. Let's get my, so I'm gonna go ahead and actually, let's do this really quick. Let's remove this from here, put the correct, my terrible crimps that caused this to take way longer than it should have. I will say that if we were to have to do this again, which I mean we will, but not probably on this machine for a while, I think it would go way quicker. Compared to the first time I did it, I definitely feel more like aware of the steps that need to happen as far as like SSHing into the Pi and running the second MCU for that, and then like I don't know, just I think that the first time I kind of like mindlessly did it by just copying and pasting stuff and didn't really think about man, this is not what we want. As long as you did save config, it won't be too interesting video, but you could forget several times and then it would be more fun. Oh, come on. I'm just happy that, yeah, that's true. It was a good troubleshooting sesh. That's true. Thank you for your optimism. I'm just happy though that we were able to get it. If when I had recrimped the one wire that I felt was loose, if it still was throwing that error, I don't know. I don't know what I would have wanted to do at that point. Oh man. But yeah, I am happy that it worked. I have a feeling that when the first time I ran it on the other Voron, I have a feeling when I removed it, it probably bent the crimp or the end of it a little bit, the connector. Because the crimp itself was on there hard, it was just at the very end, I don't know what to call it, but like the socket or the end of the crimp where it connects or grabs onto the pin was just loose, like it was bent. Okay, cool. So let me unplug it from the Pi. Let's pull this out of the way. All right. Okay. Well, I'm at least I feel good about that. We all know that Erin built the first one. I did actually get her to build a printer a long time ago. Let me see here. If I go, let me go to my actual, like, this was probably 3 or 4 years ago. I thought it would be fun to have her in a video. And I was nice, but like a little not nice. I don't know, I think it was maybe partially the heat right here. But she helped me build a printer, and she did an awesome job, but I got frustrated, and I think you can like kind of tell in our, at some point in the stream, or not, oh, you guys aren't even, okay. At some point in this video, you can tell because we like pause it and then come back, and I think at the end of it, I just ended up apologizing and said, I'm sorry, I was being an ass. Because she wasn't totally sold on building it, but she did a pretty good job of building the JG Maker back in 2019. But yeah, she didn't build this one. Let's see. So Voron 0.1 should be normal speed, right? I think the other one I run pretty standard at 150, like 120 to 150. Did you sleep on the couch that night? I didn't, but I did apologize very heavily. I just said, I don't know, it was the heat or what, but I said, I'm sorry, I know I was being a dick. I know you were like, you didn't really want it, weren't sure about the whole video thing. And I did apologize, so I didn't have to sleep on the couch, but I felt bad. Okay, so now that we've got that, let's go ahead and boot up again. And I mean, I really want to do some printing. There's a, what I want to run is the, where's the acceleration test? So I think last time, if I remember correctly, the way I determined the maximum acceleration was actually by printing out one of these guys still. So input shaping, cool, tuning, printer config, yada yada. Isn't there a max acceleration test like below input shaper? So we already did that, we did that, we did that. Selecting, okay, here we go. You should have a printed test for this shaper you chose from the previous step. If you don't, print the test slice with suggested parameters. Yeah, I think this is what I ran last time after, just so I can get an idea of where it becomes an issue, or like what the max acceleration should be. So let's go ahead and do that. Ringing tower. While this is happening, actually, let me preheat the printer. Let's go, we're gonna load some ABS. So we'll go 250, 100. Let's go Kira. Wait, I totally was reading. Okay, painful part for me is getting access to the Pi to plug it in on a 2.4. I have some hex plugs printed that fit into the skirts to mount. Oh man, is the Pi on the 2.4, is it underneath the printers then? All right, so let's go ahead and add ringing tower. If I remember, I scaled mine down last time, like, 'cause it's too big. Wait, what the? Get out of the way. Okay, let's go 90%. Oof, gotcha. That's like, so for the review that's coming out on Saturday on this Surmoon, it weighs like 42 pounds or something like that. And I always try when I do a review, at least on FDM printers, to show the electronics and power supply just so we can see like what it comes with and how good or bad of a job they did at their cable management. And it was the same ordeal with this, like flipping it over on its back and having to take out all the screws on the bottom was not fun. I'm glad I only had to do it once, but yeah, if you had to do it multiple times to like hook things up to the Pi, I would not want to do that. Okay, so Voron 0.1, this should be fine. And then let's see, what are the parameters that they want? Okay, layer height 0.2, 0.25, infill and top layers 0. Okay, let's go 0.2, that's fine. Top layers 0, infill 0. Use sufficient high speed around, let's just do 100 millimeters a second. 1 and 2 perimeters, or even better, the smooth base mode with 1 and 2. Okay, let's just do 2 millimeter base, or 2 millimeter base. We'll do 1 perimeter. Okay, so let's go. I'm just gonna do 3 bottom layers. Walls? What are we thinking, 1 or 2 walls? Should we do 1 or 2? I think I did 2 on the last one I did. 1 will go quicker though, but yeah, let's do 1. Minimum layer time, if I remember, is at most 3 seconds. Make sure the minimum layer time. 2 might be too thin, 1 wall would be good. There's 1 high chamber time, so it'll be good. All right, we'll try 1 just for the sake of speed, and if for some reason it doesn't work, then we will, then we'll try 2. Minimal wall flow, top bottom maximum angle infill, minimum initial printing travel, minimum layer time. It's under cooling. Ooh, that's sad. We don't want that. What did it say? 3 seconds? Make sure the minimum layer time is at most 3 seconds. Okay, we're just gonna go 2 seconds then. And then I don't think, wait, no, it does have, someone told me Cura does have some sort of dynamic acceleration control. Does anyone know what the name is for it in Cura? Acceleration, ironing, enable, oh, there we go. Enable acceleration control. Okay, so it's disabled, so we're good. Speed, we're going 100, 100, just do 100 all around, except for the first layer, we'll go a little bit slower. Inner wall 100, well I guess there is only 1 wall. Travel speed, that's fine. Initial layer, well, it's fine. We can go slow on the first layer. And then for temps, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Slice. You know what, we should probably load some filament though, right? Let's see, we've got some gray ABS. It's actually what was used for this build, also from Fabreeko. Let's go ahead and load, oh, you know what? I realized I took off the spool holder. Let me go ahead and get this installed really quick. Yeah, the access on the back is awesome. I really like the Voron V0 or 0.1. As much as like, I do think it was quite challenging, especially, you know, having not built the Voron or a Core XY before, like I am very happy that ultimately it's what I decided on. Let's see here. The other one's been awesome. I think it's at like 160 print hours right now, and most of the stuff I've been printing is really small, so it's ran a lot of prints. Let's see. I can't tell if it's loading. Yeah, it is. Should be using those tweezers, you guys. You guys said, not my fingers. All right, so that looks good. Let's go ahead and go save the disk, downloads. All right, let's let it rip. See what happens. No, this is so the LDO kit comes with the Dragonfly from Fadius or Fadis? What's the why am I brain farting right now? The Dragonfly. Dragonfly Hotend. Yeah, Fadis? I don't know how you say the name. P-H-A-E-T-U-S. I wish they had chosen a simpler name. Yeah, but I did swap out the nozzle. It does, so the nozzle it comes with is like a, I think it's a plated brass, which isn't bad, but because I was printing carbon fiber ABS and want to be able to print abrasives, it has a 0.4 diamond tip nozzle from Diamondback. On one of the streams when we were building this, they showed up in the mail and they sent like a 0.4, 0.6, and 0.8, and so I threw one in here. But for standard non-abrasive materials, the stock nozzle was great. Okay, so let's go ahead and print. Yes. All right, let's see how this goes. Ooh, that was off the. Oh, that's right. I don't have my offsets set perfectly. And I don't think. Let me see if Kira. Yeah, bed needs to be closer as well. I don't remember if in Cura. What am I trying to say? In Cura, under here, if I remember, there's on some of their profiles, so like let's see, X-Min, so if it's going too far, that means that the X-Min should be less of a number, so like X25. I don't think it saves it if it's a built-in profile. Like I think I have to build the Voron profile. Let's see if it saved it. No, it did save it. Okay, so I can just adjust it. I don't know if it was just on a specific version, but like, let's see if I go to like the CR6. I was having issues with it not keeping my, it's a little too close, but that's okay. Let's see if I go machine setting. Can you guys see? Yeah, you guys can see. Manage printer, CR6SE, machine settings. Let's see if I go like -16. Wait. Okay, so it says -16. Okay, no, it's sticking now. I don't know. I know that it's like one of those things where if you take your car to the mechanic and you say it's got this problem and it doesn't show it, but at least on the version I have on the Mac Mini, for some reason on certain built-in profiles, it doesn't update. Like I can put the offsets in here, and then when I exit out of it and come back, it's reverted. And I searched online, and it seems like other people are definitely having that issue too, but I don't know. But at least on this one, it's not, so I can get the offset set. Even though I don't know that I'm kind of starting to transition more and more away from Cura and more into Prusa Slicer, especially now that I've also got the mini, so I don't know if I'll be using Cura. I mean, I'll be using Cura, but I don't know how much I'll be using it. Like, it was my exclusive slicer for many, many years. I'm also tempted to check out Super Slicer, but I do like that. I mean, like, Super Slicer I know has extra things, but Prusa Slicer also gets things early because they're developing they're developing a lot of the things that Super Slicer then grabs after it's come out for a while. Let's see. You know what I realized we didn't do, which means I need to kill this print, is we didn't set the acceleration to jump up in speed, so it's just gonna print this. All right, let's go ahead and pause this. That's hilarious. Okay. Yeah, the whole point of running this is so that way we can see at what acceleration things start to get funky, and it's just going to be running the entire thing at the same acceleration. I don't want my thumb on this. All right, I'm just going to leave that line on there. It's fine. I just don't want to get the oils from my fingers. Okay, so let's go ahead and go screen. Machine settings. Is that the new value I had? -25. Let's go. Let's try -20. See if we can get it not to go off the build plate. Close, reslice, save. Call it V2. I can't believe that I didn't input that. You're moving to the light. I toggled for a while, then stuck with Prusa Slicer. Sleeper sight. Yeah, I am. I'm getting jammed to think. Wait, that's a good thing. Focus is pronounced focus. Focus. Huh. That is a lot easier. Well, like, oh, gotcha. The printer company that I've been calling Focus is Focus. That is way easier to say. I bought one of the Zodiac Pros from Fabreeko to try out. That's what's in here. Or, no, I think I have the CR... No. This printer, the CRB. I have the... Whichever one's the black colored one. They have one that's like a bronzy color. And I have the one that's not the most expensive. And it's been great. Pretty much the majority of the 150 hours running on there has been with that. And like, no clogs, quite a bit of abrasives, and really no filament sticking to the outside of it, so I like it a lot. -35 was the value. Okay, so -20 is 15 millimeters. I still think, okay, cool. Thank you for letting me know that. I think 15 millimeters is probably fine because it was pretty damn off. Okay, so we need to run offline processing, no. Dynamic acceleration control. Okay, so we don't have pressure advance enabled, so we don't have to do that. This is what we needed to enter in, tuning tower. This is what I did not do. Where? Oh, I was like, where is it? Okay, let's stop that really quick. Let's do this, tuning tower. Starting tuning tower test, cool. G-code files, V2, yes. Okay, so now we should see the acceleration starting off. Not at 2,000, right? I think it starts way lower than that. We'll see once it gets started. Start tuning test at 1250. Okay, so hopefully it should drop down if I did things correctly. Super Slicer is preferred for Vorons. Super Slicer also has line width percentages as a percentage of nozzle diameter, unlike Prusa Slicer that has it as a percentage of the layer height. I don't think I do. CNC, I'm pretty sure that this just will keep increasing the acceleration to something ridiculous. Like it basically, every 5 layers increases it by 100. I'm pretty sure. Oh, it's still too far? Huh, it doesn't look like it updated at all. Interesting. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't need to increase it in firmware. I think this test gives it the ability to, like, let me see here. Printer max. Yeah, so right now max acceleration set to 2000. I'm pretty sure it'll have no problem passing that if you have that test running, but we'll find out very shortly. Oh, I do need it. Okay. All right, let's just bump it to something insane like 7500. Save and close. Save and restart. One second, let me make sure that I don't want the temp to drop too far down. It takes forever to get up to 250. Okay. I know, I saw that too in the back left. All right, so now acceleration is way higher. Why did it not? So it's still at -20. It didn't change position at all, which is really strange to me. Okay, so head is not negative at all. It's actually almost positive, so we need to do, let's just do 0. Let's see if it updates. Try it again, V3. V3 print tower test. All right. Also, let's put on some happy, like, retro sounding stuff like we normally do. There we go, way better. Okay. Then we also need to make sure we have. Third time is the charm, so they say. All right. Whew. I think that in my head, I'm just, why? It doesn't seem to be making a difference. Very strange. I'll have to play around with the offsets a little bit more. Yeah, I have a theory now that like I should just anticipate when I live stream that things will take longer and that things will take more tries than I initially anticipated, which is fine because I agree that it's definitely a good learning experience, and I also think that, you know, for anybody else that like comes back and watches, which there actually has been a few people commenting that like, hey, let's see if it sticks. That it's useful. Like that way, if they run into the same issues that we ran into or I ran into, you know, they can see what we did to fix it. Yeah, first layer I have set super slow on purpose. Like it's at 30 millimeters a second. The primary reason is because this model is so damn big that I had to scale it down 90%. Like it takes up the entirety of the, this side needs to go up a little. Build plate, I want to go really slow just to make sure we've got good adhesion before it starts cranking up. So let's see. So currently acceleration's at 1500, so we should see it climb pretty quickly. There we go. Oh. Nozzle's a little bit close now, but that's fine. Are you trying to adjust your X offset? You can just run the hex screw on the right top side of your X axis. Yeah, that's what I am trying to do. And I also, looking at that screw, it can go in a lot further, and which will probably, like if I put it in nearly all the way, it probably would be perfect as to where it's supposed to be. So yeah, good call. I'll probably just end up tightening that screw a bit, because when I was doing the build, I just basically made it where the screw end was flush with that printed part. But yeah, I think that you're right, that's probably the best option, or the easiest option. Does it seem like it's stalling a little bit, or like freezing up? Let's see. It's weird, it almost seems like it's pausing a little bit here and there, but maybe I'm tripping. We'll see after a couple layers. I think I did 3 bottom layers. So right now it's going 44 millimeters a second. Well, varying, I guess. It's going slower now. Damn, I can't believe it's been 2.5 hours already. That's insane. Most of the time was spent on the figuring out what the hell was going on with the ADXL not connecting to the Pi. If you guys have not, please hit the like button. Or as Nero would say, like the smash button. CNC. Yeah, what Zen said, I think that it'll fit everything except for the large items like skirts, but all the functional parts can be printed on here, which is really freaking cool. All right, so is this the third layer? Or is it doing the second layer? I will definitely be doing input shaper off stream though, which I was going to do before this, before I discovered that I should do it after doing, or I'm gonna do pressure advance off stream, which I'd planned on doing before today's stream, but just after I discovered that if you run it prior to input, if you run it prior to input shaper, you also should run it after, so I just decided there was no point. My V0.1 has become my workhorse out of all my Vorons. Yeah, I think that, I think it was Ultimaker or Cura and Ultimaker that either came out with an article or I heard that based off of their feedback, or based off information they've gathered from their slicer, that the average, if you take all the prints that have been ran through Cura, big, small, medium, that the average size is about the size of a fist, so, which would fit on the Voron 0. So, you know, most all, in the 7 years I've been printing, most all of the big prints I've done have been like show-offy prints or like artsy prints, or, you know, just for the sake of it. There has been a couple of instances where there's actually like, you know, a functional print that I needed. Like when I had my COT laser, I needed to print on a pretty large gasket as well as a like exhaust setup for the AC, or like the ducting that I was running from the back of it, and that wouldn't have fit on this. That was bigger, and you know, there's a couple other scenarios, but you know, on an average week or month, like 90 to 95% of my printing needs that are actually like things I need for functional stuff around here or projects I'm working on can totally fit on the V0.1. And because the bed is so small, like leveling is just so easy, which is great. Okay, so now we're at 80, roughly 80 millimeters a second. Acceleration is still at 1500. I get better prints out of my 0.1 than my 2.4. I guess it's due to its shorter belt path. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I'm sure there's it's even with the small 1515 extrusions, like I just feel like it's such a stiff machine. I mostly use it for things like cases, hangers, working parts, where some barely fit on my Ender 5. Holy shit. What are you printing that barely fits on the Ender 5 Plus? Is it functional stuff or like that's a big build volume. Okay, we're still at 1500 on the acceleration. I would imagine it's going to be close to what max acceleration was on my other V0, which was around 3,000 to 3,500, I think, is where it started to get funky. LSE. Late to the party, but still at the party. How you doing, man? Oh wow, okay, so you just run huge. I mean, yeah, I guess, you know, depending on what your functional needs are, like I'm sure that like LSC does a ton of printing as well, and I'm sure that he has lots of functional parts that would need a way bigger bed than this tiny little guy. But yeah, I guess a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, like, you know, like pie cases, little mounts for things and brackets, like it just works. But I wouldn't say that, like, if my option was, hey, you can only have one 3D printer, that's it, like I wouldn't, the V0.1 wouldn't be my only printer. I would like to have one that's at least like, I mean, even just like the Prusa Mini, honestly, like this is, you know, not much bigger, but it's definitely bigger. But ideally something like an Ender 3 with, what is it, like 9.25 by 9.25, I think, sounds right. But yeah, like, again, the majority of stuff I do can fit on here, but having bigger for the times needed is also really nice. I thought the acceleration was supposed to go every 5 layers. Did I screw something up? Velocity, max acceleration. No, we did run it correctly. Why are speeds not increasing? The tool holder won't fit it. Headache, pushing limits. Gosh, latest suddenly PG batch is so wet. Oh god, it sounds awful. I said it earlier. Okay, acceleration is finally bumping. I was worried. I saw 1500 for way too long. I can't see it. Oh, you can. It's at 2000 now, so it is jumping. I left the window open for quite a long time because I was doing some laser engraving in here, and I just needed to get the fumes out. And that night, I'd printed some PTG that was close to the window, and it was okay. And then the next morning when I went to go print it, it was just so freaking wet. You can just hear it popping, which isn't something normally, like with nylons I've experienced it, with PVA I've experienced it, maybe with TPU, but I hadn't experienced it with PETG. PETG is like, it's getting more finicky to me, and I think it's, when I first started 3D printing, I lived more inland, like maybe an hour more inland towards the desert, while now I'm an hour closer towards the coast, and so I think like that is what's playing the huge factor in PTG, going from like, yeah, I could leave it open for weeks and it's no big deal, to now it's like, no, if I leave it open for days, it becomes a big deal. Was just coming back from our TikTok updates. We're running wild on LSC beta printer. Nice. Oh, I should probably go here. I'm so excited for food tomorrow. The Thanksgiving food is by far, I would say that and Christmas are my two favorite meals, because we usually do turkey, mashed potato, Hawaiian rolls, gravy obviously, the green beans and stuff for Thanksgiving, and I absolutely love that. And cranberry. My mom raised me on cranberry, although lingonberry is also delicious. But and then for Christmas, we usually do either like a smorgasbord of different things, or like a honey baked ham. And like, oh, I'm so excited to eat tomorrow. I'm getting hungry, if you can't tell. After this, I'm gonna get food. I don't use much on the Z, as most objects are under 3 inches in height, but I can print. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I think that in general, I think in most instances, people would rather have a larger X and Y than Z. Like, I mean, it gets to a point where it's like, unless you're printing out model rockets or some really obscure things, I think that the X and Y is, oh, excuse me. I think X and Y is much more usable space than having Z. Again, like, unless you're printing like rockets or like mannequin arms, or I don't know, like whatever other long things you can think of. But yeah, I'd rather have a bigger build plate for sure. Pushing right now, Black Pet G, 80 millimeters a second. Nice, with linear advance, 3000. I forgot you run, how long have you been running Clipper for, LC? Like I forgot that you're running, your farm isn't all on Clipper, is it though? That's awesome though. 3000 acceleration, 0 ghosting, it's beautiful. Cranberry and turkey, oh God. And then you like the next day have like turkey sandwiches with the leftovers, or put some turkey mashed potato on one of those rolls, and ooh, so good. Okay, what are we at now? We've gotta be at 25, yeah, 2500 on the acceleration now. I don't see any gap. And this side looks kind of ugly, but I think it's, you know, again, part of the single wall scenario. But I don't see any gap yet, which is good, because we don't want a gap until we get at least to 3,500-ish, then I'd say I would accept a gap. What's everybody got going on for tomorrow? Wait, linear advance. Oh, I mixed that up with pressure advance. So linear advance. So you're using Marlin then. Spark Clipper isn't stable enough for us to be using it. Gotcha. G Funny. I'm out. Have a great Thanksgiving. Hey, thanks for hanging out and for all of your help always, man. With getting the accelerometer, everything up and running. I appreciate it. I appreciate you hanging out, and man, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I will schedule next week's stream between now and Sunday, but just again, the plan for next week's stream is actually to have a chill stream. We're going to do some laser engraving. Hopefully, I'm gonna go pick up some white ceramic tiles tonight and some white paint, and I'm actually gonna play around with some. I plan on making almost everyone's Christmas gifts this year with the ceramic tile engraving. So hopefully next week we'll just chill, check out this laser, do some engraving, and just have a good time. So have a great Thanksgiving, man, and I will hopefully catch you Wednesday. Going to Reno, nice. How far is Reno from you? Are you in Nevada already? Long day of frying turkeys. Oh man, turkeys with an S? Multiple turkeys? Turkey stuffing, we need to get my parents to my brothers. Nice. Turkey takes a long time to cook. I know my mom pretty much makes it every year, and she said that she's gonna be getting up super early to you know, kind of get it cooking. I think she usually cooks it for like 4 or 5 hours, if I'm not mistaken. Tomorrow is a welding field solar install, additional 1 kilowatt system with follow the sun. So fun, fun, fun. Oh man. Hopefully it's smooth sailing, man. Do you have a fume extractor? So yay and nay. So I think I have an enclosure coming in a couple weeks for this thing, which is nice because it's a big, like, I can show you guys. Let's see. We're gonna turn the camera. If I can do it. Wait, you guys didn't, how come nobody said the camera froze again? Let's see, unless it just happened. There we go. Deactivate, activate. Camera's gonna be, whoa. Wait. Maybe it's the cable that's wigging out. Let's see, 1 second. That's definitely not what I'm trying to show you guys. Deactivate, nope. Deactivate, activate. There we go. Okay, well that's not also, I'm gonna turn it more. But so this is the current setup. So it's on a cart. God, it's really, there's not enough light over there, so I apologize. But it's on a cart, and it's completely open form factor, which is how these typically come, which I'm not crazy about because it's much harder to contain fumes when, you know, it's just out in the open like that. So I have an enclosure coming forward, I think in a few weeks, hopefully, waiting on the company to get them back in stock. But I do have, I'll actually walk around and show you guys. So this is definitely not meant for laser engraving, but it's soldering iron or soldering fume extractor. And this thing is probably pretty overkill for soldering. So like, I think it's somewhere between way good for soldering, but probably not good enough for this. But it, the only thing I've ever used for soldering previously was like a small little carbon filter. And this guy is like, it's 3 stages. So it's got like the bigger filter, it's got a HEPA, and it's got a carbon underneath it. I don't know how you guys can see that. But so this is what I'm using right now. It's definitely not great. I have to open all of the doors and, not doors, but like all of the, yeah, sliding door and windows and stuff. But I have to make do between now and us moving, which isn't until next August. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully with the enclosure, I can contain it a little bit more and make sure that this at least passes all of the smoke and fumes through this, because it does definitely help. But right now when I'm running it, this can only grab so much of the smoke because a lot of it makes its way, you know, in a different direction. So hopefully you guys, I think you guys could see that. Yeah. I don't have the ability to do an overhead fume extractor, man. It would just require, well, at least not in this apartment, but yeah, the fume extractor is nice. It mounts to it, it closes. It's also for the sake of like, so the laser has a thin bit of acrylic around it, orange acrylic, to kind of block out the UV light, but it's completely open on the back and it also doesn't do a great job. So the enclosure adds an additional layer of safety because again, this is my living room. So that way if anyone walks in or walks out, they can't look directly into the laser beam. And then all of the fumes are much more controlled because there's one outlet with, I believe, a exhaust fan, so. Depends on the size of turkey, just happened on the camera. Oh, okay, cool. Don't forget, Voron. Oh, Voron's having an official live stream on Saturday? I can't wait in hopes things release, which is usually the case. Damn. Did, the Voron 0.1, so I think on the last ones, right, it was like Voron 0.1, the next live was the Trident, and then there's this one. I wonder what they'll do. Just be careful of the fumes, they can definitely harm your lungs, they might even set off your fire detector. I appreciate it, yeah. I looked, and the general rule of thumb is to just vent everything outside, which is what we did at our last place with the CO2 laser. I do not have that option here. My neighbor upstairs, like this is, I don't want to be too loud because the window, oh no, the window's not open. But my neighbor upstairs is very sensitive. Every time I barbecue, she freaks out. She ran down one time and thought there was a fire, and I was like, nope, I'm just barbecuing some chicken. So I can't kick anything outside unless it's passed through some sort of filter system to get rid of all the fumes and all the smells, and then I can kick it out. And so I did look online, and there's a thing called a, I think it's called a fume coffin, which is basically like this massive box that you build, and so you have like your exhaust that goes into the box, it passes through all those different stages, then comes out and goes out the window, but it just seems like a lot. So I'm looking forward to 8 or 9 months from now when I will not move into a place that doesn't have a garage. That is the rule I've set for myself. Let's see, I'm betting a miner, it will be a 2.4 revision 2. It's kind of ready. I am betting on a miner 2.4 updates about you, 540 in the print, and maybe 45 today. Wait, 540 into the print, maybe 45 today. Photos will be posted later. It's something you all might want to copy for filament response. Okay, cool. That sounds good. What are we at now? We're at 3,500. still don't really see. Let me pull out the handy dandy phone flashlight and see if we see. I don't. It might be starting to slowly gap. Drop my earbud. Not really though. I might have built this one better than my last one, to be honest. And also, on the last one I used nylon, although it was carbon nylon for the few parts I was having issues with, which we all discovered was due to the Loctite that I was using. And on this one I didn't, because I just didn't use the Loctite, I used ABS parts. So it's possible that I might be able to get higher acceleration because I've got the ABS and not the carbon fiber nylon. Although the carbon should stiffen the nylon, it still might not be as stiff as just standard ABS, so we'll see. But yeah, there's not much of a gap going on, and we're at 3,500. Yeah, I don't, so like nylon that's not, like just standard nylons, well I guess there's a lot of different variants of nylon, but like PA6 or PA11, in its like raw form is definitely kind of stretchy or like kind of flexible. I'm trying to see if I have any. Let's see. But like the carbon nylon, I don't know how I'll be able to. Carbon nylon, it's not quite as bendy. The chopped carbon fiber definitely stiffens it up a bit, but I wouldn't say it's as stiff as, like, let me see. So this is carbon fiber ABS. Ooh, definitely stiff. Well, more brittle. Interesting. It's weird to have this ABS, like, so is the 30X Tech ABS, it's snapping, which is interesting. Although I guess ABS is quite stiff, but like compared to the nylon, I mean, like, it's like this stuff just won't, well, maybe it will eventually, but it's just way, it's really tough, and it also just allows for quite a bit more flex. But yeah, I'm wondering if that had an effect on me being able to push certain things on the other Voron. Oops. PC carbon fiber. Pretty looking good. Don't forget you need to increase flow by a bit. Yeah, I for this test I'm just running it as is, because the goal is at some point I should see a gap when it's hit too much acceleration. We're at 4,000 right now. It's looking really, it's actually, now that I think about it, it's looking way better than the other Voron, the Zero that I built. As far as like, I'm looking at the ringing, and there's like I know that we have we have input shaper on, which should help with the ringing, but it was way more noticeable on this guy than on this guy right now. Like I'm seeing little to no ringing, which is great. Neo found that his belts kept loosening. Oh, interesting. PA6. Look on the long run, those break first. Printed. Yeah, I haven't used PC carbon fiber. I've only used PC twice, maybe. I mean, most of the printers we test out can't handle it. It just can't get hot enough. And also, like, to do large PC, I would want, I mean, I've done it without a heated enclosure. I did it on a raised machine, and it worked decently. But for lots of PC, I would probably want a heated chamber. But I have that that Quiddy Tech. I have the Quiddy Tech iFast that we were talking about LSE, and that one does have the heated chamber. I'm doing a review on, like the review on that's probably gonna go live in a few weeks or so, and I didn't do PC for the review, but I did test out a lot of other things. I printed like single PLA, PLA and PVA, dual color PLA, TPU, carbon fiber ABS, big carbon fiber ABS, oops, nylon glass, nylon carbon, and then nylon glass and carbon combined. So I've done quite a bit of, like this was, I mean, this is just PLA, but this was a super cool print that, that I got off of it. This is a really rad print that you just can't do without the support water soluble. Wait, DC, are you saying you think that the engraving on the bed is what's making this machine superior? Is that what you're getting at? Did you end up printing the, did you end up printing that print in place vise? This thing is awesome. I want to reprint it because I want to do one in maybe a different material like ABS, but it's such a freaking cool print. It's so cool. Carbon fiber print is at 310, 120 on the bed with option for heated chamber. If part is bigger than a fist, yeah. Oh, you printed it, Jimmy? Yeah, it's so cool. 3D Printing World, I believe that's his like full handle, makes some of the coolest models. I think I showed it to you guys last stream, but like, I'm just so hyped on it. This is one of his designs as well. And I printed this on the iFast. I was incredibly impressed with this. It's just so cool. I was gonna give it to my godson as a gift, but I kind of fell in love with it and I just kept it. I still might, I need to print him one. Like he has a smaller one that's like the Sith lightsaber. But yeah, when this came out, I was like, dude, this is like the cleanest dual extrusion print I've ever gotten. So what happened to it? What happened to it, DC? I had a failure as well. Initially, so this little end piece right here prints like with the other portion around it on the bed, and I had my nozzle a hair too close and they fused together on the first print, so I had to reprint it and make sure that my nozzle wasn't quite as close, because if that fuses together, it's kind of delicate, you know. Jimmy says, I want that. I'm keeping it for life. It's so cool. All right, we are officially at 4,500 acceleration. Man, it's still looking really freaking good. All right, let's see. Note that very high accelerations depending on the resonance and input shaper you chose. Input shaper may cause too much smoothing and running out of the parts, so max acceleration should be chosen such to prevent that. Another parameter that can impact smoothing is for current velocity, so it's not advisable to increase it above the default 5mm site. Inspect the model for the chosen input shaper. First, take a note at which acceleration ringing is still small and that you are comfortable with. Next, check the smoothing. To help with that, the test model has a small gap in the wall. As acceleration increases, so does the smoothing, and the actual gap in the print widens. Not in my print. I'm not seeing. Oh, okay. No. It's finally. I am finally starting to see what looks like a slight gap at 5,000. So I will very likely, I might even kill the print. I'll let it go a couple more, but I'm probably going to put max acceleration at 4,500 just to play it safe. So that way it doesn't have too much smoothing, because basically it says, there's two things we want to look out for. One is obviously ringing, because it gets to a point where the input shaper just can't compensate for the level of ringing. And at this point, I still think it looks absolutely phenomenal. Like I'm seeing very little to any ringing, so I'm not worried about the ringing. But what I am worried about is the input shaper causing too much smoothing. And I am starting to see on this side that there's a small gap starting to form around 5,000. So I'll probably back off a little bit to 4,500 as the max acceleration. You need to add a bright LED and battery. Oh, yeah. One of my buddies has been, he's actually the one, I'd seen these before, but one of my buddies here, the one I actually donated a couple printers to the other day, I was over at his place and he had printed out quite a few of them. And when I actually got to hold one in my hand and like have the blade fling out, that's when I was like, okay, I've been missing out all this time by not printing one, so. You need to add a bright, yeah. I read that. I don't have the custom grade bed to be able to keep up with the quality you're getting. DC. it's gotta be the little robot, man. Erin just texted me, said she's getting hungry. Do you want some mac and cheese? That sounds rad. I also need to run to Home Depot. Wait a few. I'm gonna go pick up those tiles. Okay, I'm gonna kill the print because okay, camera skipping frames over here. Oh, this camera skipping frames? It looks good on my end. I actually do need to lube these lube these rails. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna kill this. Let's see. It's at 73%, but there's just no point in continuing on. It sounds depressing. There's just no point. Okay, let's take this off. Stuck a little bit harder on the far side. There we go. I wanted to show you guys this, but you're hardly. Let's see. Nope, that's far away. That's kind of, well, you know what, let's just turn, yeah, that's fine. So you guys can kind of hopefully see that, but there's little to no ringing, which is crazy to me. I wish I had the print, this print off of the other Voron 0, because by 3500 I was starting to get some noticeable ringing, even with input shaper, but yeah, I'm seeing like no ringing at all. And the smoothing gap on the very top, which, let's see. Let me try the other camera, which is kind of crappy, but let's see. Let's go side. I don't know how well, or if you'll even, no, it's not gonna pick it up. The resolution just isn't good enough. There's a slight gap on this top one. Very, very, very little. And even on the dodgy cart, yeah. Yeah, this turned out absolutely just beautiful, which makes me sad, well, happy, but also sad. Like, God, there's like no ringing barely. Jeez, it makes me happy, but also sad about the other Voron 0, even though the quality I've been getting has been really great. Okay, so let's go ahead and now go under screen, and we will go under our machine. We will go under our printer config. And we are going to change max acceleration. What did I say? It was at 5,000, it started wigging out. So we'll do 4,500 cap. Square corner, it said not to have above 5, but it was already set to 6. Okay, that's fine. Save and close. Sick! All right. I think we call it there. How long have we been? It's been 3 hours now. Yeah, I think we're gonna call it. Well, I will say, nope. Face cam, nope. So I will say that I thought that we started the stream at 4. I thought that input shaper would be done by close to 5, and the pressure advance would be done by close to 6, and then the stream would end, or we would print something fun. What ended up happening is, is that input shaper ended at 7, but I learned a lot. Hopefully, you know, someone viewing learned something, and hopefully it'll be useful again to anyone that ends up seeing this stream later on that's just struggling with their input shaper. But I am very happy that we got it working, and I'm very happy with the results. I'm super stoked to, any noticeable well tension. I'm stoked to do some more printing on this now that it's done. I'm going to be running pressure advance on my, like, off of the stream just so that I can knock it out. And then again, next stream, I will play around with some of the tiles between now and then to determine that I can do it on stream without having too much fumes in this place. And that's probably what we're gonna do next week, is just hang out and engrave some stuff. Any noticeable belt tension differences between this? I don't think I noticed much belt tension difference. I actually, when I was setting the tension for this one, I checked. Now it feels nearly identical. Actually, this other Voron might actually even be a little bit stiffer. It's very similar. When I was setting it, that was my reference, was how tight these belts were, so no. But yeah, thank you everyone for hanging out. Pi, Lisa, DC, LSC, DJ, CNC, Zen, who am I missing? I said DC, Jimmy, everybody. I appreciate you guys hanging out. And yeah, if you guys are in the US or somewhere that celebrates Thanksgiving, have a great Thanksgiving. I hope you get some turkey. LSC, I know you're working, so I hope you're able to take a break and have some turkey. Chikaro, thanks for hanging out. DJ is right. But yeah, I will schedule next week's stream, and hopefully we'll have a video just kind of detailing the experience of this build versus the first one, and kind of my opinions on the LDO kit versus the self-source one, because I've been really happy with this. So have a great night, and I will catch you guys soon. Hit the like button if you haven't. All right, see you guys next